Welcome to State Insurance USA Cares podcast, where we celebrate the heart of our communities. Each episode, we highlight local charities and nonprofits who are bringing hope, help, and healing to those who need it most. Get ready to be inspired by the amazing stories of people making a difference, because together, we care.
Well, hello, it's Gail Langner with State Insurance Cares, a part of State Insurance USA. You know, what I love about State Insurance Cares is actually getting to shine the light on incredible work that's being done by local nonprofits. And today we're visiting with Megan from Summit Christian School. So Megan, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, we're glad to have you. And we were also very excited to be able to donate to the school as well. Tell me about what do you do at Summit? What's your role there?
Yeah, so I'm an administrator. And so primarily my roles are admissions, bringing in families and onboarding them and just making sure that they have someone to talk throughout their journey. And then communications, internal and external. So making sure that our teachers know what's going on. I really want to change what customer service looks like in education. And so if they know what's going on, they can communicate effectively. And then communicating to our families as well, and changing that as well. And then I do events, so our larger fundraisers, our external things, and then our internal things like, graduations and awards and all the little things in between that keep a school running. And then just supporting our teachers and our families. And, as a leader and administrator, if things come up and you handle them.
So that's all you do? Is there anything you don't do? Megan, you're a busy girl. No, for sure. Well, I was really surprised you're right there off from Summerlin. Gosh, I would think that the employees at healthcare, that would be the perfect place to take your kids. It's so close, but you're just tucked away back in there in that beautiful spot. Didn't even know you were back there.
That is something we hear all the time. That's something that we are trying to change. The school is 35 years old this year in August. And so we are just trying to change that narrative. I hear that all the time. And so we're trying to get out there on social media and advertising and the radio. And, it's just it's the thing that we truly hear all the time. And so we're definitely trying to change that. But we do have a beautiful campus tucked into
it's gorgeous.
Neighborhood.
Gorgeous back there. I wish you could put like a big sign on the other side of the trees, there on Summerlin where people could see it. But
I know it.
Well, what's Summit's mission? What do you strive toward there at your school? I know you have smaller classrooms that, as if I were back being a young mom again, I know that would really float my boat. It really would. No, it would. Those smaller classrooms, I think once the classrooms get, relatively large, your child loses a lot of self in that. So
they do. And they get lost in, the hustle and bustle of just being in a larger school. And so for, the last 35 years, our mission has been to provide an excellent education rooted in God's word. And we're looking to potentially revamp that, but that same mission will, hold true. But just really making sure that kids are seen and known and loved at their core. And they're not just a number more than anything.
Right. So, some may be going a lot quicker, some may be struggling or whatever. And I think the smaller classrooms really, like I said, as a young mom, that would have really attracted me.
I joke, but I do mean this, is it reminds me of like a 90s throwback school, right? To where we're intentionally not one-to-one with iPads and Chromebooks because we want them to learn from a teacher. And you walk down the hall and it just looks sweet. You have like the little backpacks on the hooks outside and I don't know, we just let kids be kids. And I think that's what's missing in education. And people are finally realizing that and like pulling back a little bit and realizing like, you don't have to be in a seat 8 hours a day to learn well. That doesn't equate to good learning. And so, we start our day off with recess. Like, how can you learn if you're sleepy?
Well, that's so smart. It
Yeah,
is.
wake up a little bit and enjoy the day and spend some time with friends. This is a day the Lord has made. And
Right.
so get out there and wake your brain up. And then they have a second recess after lunch. And
Okay.
um,
When you get sleepy.
again, when you get
Right. Exactly. Right. That's super
yes,
smart. We
yeah,
actually donated to All Start Athlete Foundation as well. And one of the things that they said is they wanted kids to be kids. But of
yeah,
course, that means sports. And what's sports? Expensive. So, I
yeah,
love your let kids be kids. I love that. That's absolutely wonderful. Um, so, well, I was going to ask you what makes Summit unique, but I think we already know. I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's, the small class sizes is one of them. We like to see classes somewhere between 16 and 20, depending on the makeup of um, the classroom. And we also are a little bit unique in that we don't think that, there's a one size fits all curriculum. Like we're going to continuously evaluate what is out there and what is best practice and what is best for students,
mhm,
and so, and then, in the Christian environment too, it is so, so important for us to hold the line as educators and making sure that we are walking the walk and we are in the word every day. Um, and so that's something that we try to really guard and even provide time for during the work week. And so that's important to us too. How do you integrate Bible into everything if you don't know the Bible?
yeah, that
And yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
And so that's something that we really, really guard. And it's just kids being kids is probably the
right.
number one thing. There's of course a time and a place always to respect your adults and listen, but there's also a time and a place to break out. You'll walk into our classrooms at any point in time, and some of the classes will be in the middle of instruction, and sometimes I'll come in for a tour and they have a clipboard and they're under a desk and they're doing their work. Who cares?
Oh,
They're doing
right.
their work and they love it.
Exactly. Right,
And there's
exactly.
so much joy in every classroom. And the number one thing that parents say when they are walking through on a tour is, your classrooms are gorgeous. Our teachers do incredible with their classrooms. Um, and then two, it's your kids look so happy.
Right.
And I think that's because they are.
So the teachers individually, they kinda do their own room the way they think it should be,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. We try to give them let them have some autonomy there. This is where they are every day for 40 hours a week. This
Right,
is where students are every day for 40 hours a week. We want it
right.
to be comfortable and not clinical and kind of homey. Like we want this to feel good for them. We want them to walk in the door and be like, huh, okay, I'm here. I'm home.
Right, right.
Um, and the same for the teachers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, what time of year would you start, um, looking you said that families came in for tours, that makes total sense that they would wanna do that. What time of year is a good time to do that? Is it
There's no
now? Is it
There's no wrong time of year. You have some limitations when it comes to step up for students, but for the most part, any time of year, we have kids who come who, tried public school for a little bit and decided it wasn't for them. And they call me in September, October, and they're like, I can't do it. Please take my baby.
right, right,
um, and then there's some people who, are the planners. And so if you're a planner, you should be looking in November, December for the following school year.
okay,
Um, but we still are taking kiddos for next year. We only have a few classes on the wait list presently, and we're approaching a wait list for a few other grades. So
are you?
yeah, we do have spots, but there we have people moving from out of town, and I mean, there's so many different situations and dynamics, and Southwest Florida is massive, and so if you move 10 minutes down the road, it might actually mean a 30-minute drive to your school now, and
It depending exactly
yeah,
what time of year, you're absolutely
yeah,
right,
and so
right.
people are
What
just
grades do you do, Megan? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk
yeah,
over you.
no, you're fine. We're kindergarten through 8th grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, and then they have to make the big leap into the big schools, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
yes. We are, we have a committee who's looking at what would it mean if we had a high school? Is there a need in our area? Because we are also what makes us unique is we're one of the only private schools in the area that will take kiddos who are struggling. And they might have an IEP or a 504 and just have additional supports that are needed, and we actually have a full-time staff member who's on board to pull them out a few times a week or whatever their needs are.
mhm.
And so there's not a lot of schools in the area that do that. And
Right.
so we do recognize a potential need for that at the high school level. And so what would it mean? And we're
Right.
just kind of exploring that and seeing if it's us, and if it's not us, could we even, get the word out for somebody else and, help
Sure.
them get it started and filter into them. So it doesn't have to be us. It's all for God's glory. And so, and what's best for kids.
Well, I would think there'd be quite a bit of communication then between the teachers and the parents too. I mean, I would think that throughout the year. I mean, for me, I think it was probably, I was shaking my boots when I got my report card thinking I hope I passed, which is ridiculous. I got straight A's, so I don't know what I was ever worried about. But anyway, but there was never any communication with my parents unless, I did
Yeah.
something wrong, which is obviously talk too much in class. Other than that,
Yeah.
it's one of those where it doesn't matter where you move me, I'm gonna talk. Yeah, you
Well,
can move me if you want. You can move me around all around the whole
but
classroom.
look where you are now.
Still talking.
You're made everybody is made differently and has different strengths.
Oh gosh.
Those are things that we try to recognize, but yeah, communication with parents is number one. Just the climate of education has changed so much. At a lot of schools, it's like we're the experts, get out, we don't need you. And our approach is entirely different. It is, it takes all of us, a triangle of church and school and home, with home as the leader, but like we're here as supports. And
Mhm.
so how can we do that if you don't know what's going on and you don't have any idea where your child is at? And so, yeah, communication is really important. And that's something I brought here when I got on is the customer service mindset in education.
Right.
Because believe it or not, like I know that they are, initially people be like, I'm just a teacher. You are just a teacher. You're not just a teacher. They are incredible human beings who are doing so much more than just teaching, right? And
Right.
it's ever evolving. And customer service is one of those things like you just really have to serve the families and be in true partnership with them. And so that's something that we
Serve.
strive for all the
That's
time.
the perfect word.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Megan, I know we're close to kind of wrapping up here, but I did want to know how could the community actually support the school, even if they don't have children that go there?
Yeah, there's so many ways, right? We have a new head of school and Dan Vanderpool, and he is incredible. And so, if they've heard about our school in the past or, have toured it in the past, it's a good opportunity to come back and see the school and meet the new visionary and get behind that. If they just sharing the word about us, talking about us, if they hear a friend talking about it, and that praying for us, praying for our school, praying for our kiddos. As kids have so many different things going on in their lives, and so
Yep.
anything that we can do to cover them in prayer, if they think about it. And then always we have galas and other fundraising events. And so, financially, if
Sure.
they would ever like to contribute, reaching out, and we'd be more than happy to have them.
Right, exactly. Okay, awesome. Well, so what is your website? Let's yeah,
Summit, SWFL.org. So Summit, SWFL.org.
okay, great. And the good phone number to call?
239-482-7007.
Awesome.
Yes.
Megan from Summit Christian School, thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank
We
you.
really appreciate it. And again, I said, I just love just to shine the light on the incredible work that's being done here in Southwest Florida. And you, my friend, are most certainly part of that. So
Thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much. All right.
We
Thanks for
appreciate
joining
you.
us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on State Insurance USA Cares. We hope today's story uplifted and inspired you. If you'd like to support or learn more about the incredible work happening in your community, visit stateinsuranceusa.com or call 239-567-9992. You can also visit CaboWaboGym.com. Until next time, be sure to let your sun shine and keep sharing good and positive vibes wherever the waves take you.